All right, it's time for the DOT physical story. My name's Kevin. I'm a solo driver for CRETE Carrier, and you're watching The Joy of Trucking. So where we left off last time, I was recovering. I was on medical leave for a while. I had a big problem with my right eye here. 3 surgeries and a bunch of recovery and drama and heartbreak. It was a terrible story. If you haven't seen it yet, go back and watch that first. All right, so yesterday I got an email from the safety department, and they said, you're clear to go and get your DOT medical exam. So bright and early this morning, we head down to the terminal office where we had to fill out some paperwork with the company in the office, and then they told me which doctor to go and see for the DOT physical. So CRETE pays for the exam, but they choose the doctor. So they want the doctor to have a certain standard and do things their way. So once that was done, the paperwork is sent to the doctor. We get in the car and go to the doctor, and I let them know I'm there, and then they call me in. So first, the assistant does like the drug test, you pee in a cup, and checks your blood pressure and stuff like that, and then we do the eye chart. And with the right eye and with the left eye, and then with both eyes, and you can see the different colors, so you recognize a red, green, and yellow light. And I read at the 20/25 line on that chart, which is pretty good, because a few days before that, I was at the 20/40 line with this eye, which tells me this eye is improving every day and it's getting better. And I've got a prescription for some new glasses, so once I get those, I'm gonna be 20/20 perfect. So this is all very good news. I was really happy about that. And then she left, and I had to sit for a while and wait. And then the physician assistant comes in that's gonna perform the rest of the tests, listen to your heart and look in your ears and all those other things you got to do. And she says, so I need your letter of clearance from your eye doctor. I said, okay. And I produced that, which I had gotten already. And then she says, now I need your letter of clearance from your cardiologist. It says here you have a history of some heart troubles. I said, no, I don't have that. She says, well, you have to have that. I said, well, I suffered with atrial fibrillation, and I had a cardiac ablation in 2020 that corrected it. And that was before I started driving trucks. And then every year after that, I had a checkup to make sure that there was no recurrence of the atrial fibrillation. So in 2023, I was cleared for 2 years between visits, and my DOT physical was good for 2 years instead of only 1 year from that point on. So I'm not scheduled for another cardiologist appointment until the end of this year. At that point, I'll have my clearance letter, no problem. She says, well, you don't have a letter with you for that, so I can't pass you. I said, what do you mean? I just told you I'm good for 2 years from my last appointment. She says, yep. And in 2024, the rules changed. If you have a previous condition like high blood pressure or anything to do with your heart or your veins and stuff like that, you need to get it checked and get a clearance letter every year from now on. I said, well, I didn't know that. Nobody had told me that. I don't think anybody from the company told me that. I didn't read anything. I had no idea. And funny thing was, I was trying to get set up with a cardiologist here in our new hometown, and it's so hard to get a hold of these guys, and then they get you an appointment a couple of months later. So I had an appointment in February that would have gotten me that letter. But the funny thing is, the guy canceled the appointment. His office said he was going on vacation. So my next appointment with him would have been in May. There's no way I'm going to be able to make this work without sitting around for a couple more months. So I had a problem. Now the physician assistant was nice enough to finish the exam, and she said, if you come in with that clearance letter, everything else is done. All you have to do is show that to me, and you're good to go. I'll sign off on this on the spot. So I don't have to go through the whole exam again and all the other crap. So she was good enough to go that far, and she went as far as writing me a referral to a cardiologist. If I could find one nearby, then I could go through my insurance and use the referral and get to a cardiologist. So after we left the DOT medical examiner, I called the terminal, of course, to tell him that things didn't go according to plan, and that there had been a recent change to the rules in that I needed to be getting my clearance letters every year now instead of every 2 years. So I don't know if they were aware of that, but I think you should be. If you have any condition like that, you better check up on the rules and go see your doctor and get that clearance letter before your next DOT physical, so you don't wind up grounded when it's time to do your physical and you're hunting around looking for a piece of paper. So now we start the search for a cardiologist that I can see as soon as possible. The best I could come up with was 2 weeks from now. And I'm going crazy. I've been on the phone all afternoon calling and waiting for answers. So the thing about this is I would be coming in as a new patient, which means they would not allow me to just walk in, say, hi, I had this condition, but I feel great now. Just sign this letter, will you? So you'd have to get a workup. They'd want your records from your previous doctor. They'd want to maybe do a couple of tests of their own to establish where you're at now. I could see this going on for weeks and weeks and weeks beyond that first appointment. So I was starting to get really discouraged. And then it occurred to me, my cardiologist at the time when I had all this work done was when we were in Phoenix, and my follow-up visits had been in Phoenix. We just happened to be passing through or lined up appointments, and we had things to do in Phoenix even though we didn't live there anymore. So that last appointment in 2023 was with the same guy in Phoenix. And I thought, he's got all my history and he knows me, and he is the one that signed off in 23. All I got to do is go see him and get a clearance letter from him. So here I am trying to track down the guy in Phoenix, and I called his office there and they said no, he's moved to another office. But then I was talking to those people and was able to set up an appointment with them 2 days from now. But then I tracked down the other doctor that was my original doctor at his new office and was able to get an appointment with him. All that was going great. So I got people I can see this week. Fantastic. I also tried another doctor who I was actually referred to the doctor who performed the actual operation, who wasn't even my cardiologist, and couldn't find her. So it took a while to track him down because he moved offices and he's got new staff and a different situation and all this, but my records are still there and they know me, they remember me, and I was able to get an appointment 2 days, but that means I gotta fly to Phoenix. So tonight I'm getting on a plane for Phoenix. I'm gonna go see this guy tomorrow morning, and then I'm gonna get on a plane and come back here so I can have that clearance letter for the doctor and see if we can move on from there. So still hopeful, still crossing my fingers, kind of going way over the top to get this done, but I am bound and determined. I'm tired of sitting around here. I want to get back on the road. Give us a thumbs up and comments down below, and cross your fingers for me, please. I want to go back to work. Hit the subscribe button, ring the notification bell, and I'm working hard to see you down the road. Bye for now.